I am Dr. Arul Selvi, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. I am going to discuss about the topic error control coding. Error control coding. Noise or the error is the main problem in the signal which disturbs the reliability of the communication system. So error control coding is the coding procedure which is used to control the occurrences of errors. So these techniques, these error control coding techniques, it helps in detecting and correcting the errors introduced by the channel. There are different types of error correcting codes depending upon the mathematical principles applied to them. But historically, these codes have been classified into linear block codes and convolutional codes. Linear block codes. So in the linear block codes, the parity bits and the message bits, it have a linear combination. That means the resultant code word is the linear combination of any other code words. That is the arithmetic sum, the sum of any two code words, it will produce the other code word. So that is called the linear block codes. So you consider some blocks of data which contain k bits in each block. That is the number of bits present in the message is k. So these bits are mapped with the blocks which has n bits in each block. That is block codes means it consists of the message bits followed by the check bits. So this check bits, it plays an important role in correcting and detecting the errors. So n bits, it represents the number of bits present in the encoded output. So n is greater than k. So k means it refers to the number of bits present in the message. So the transmitter adds the redundant bits, that is extra bits, which are n minus k. So the number of redundant bits, that is check bits, added is n minus k. So this redundant bits plays an important role in correcting and detecting the errors. The ratio k by n is called the code rate. It is denoted by R and the value of R is less than 1. So the n minus k bits added here are called the parity bits. The parity bits helps in error detection and error correction and also in locating the data. So in the data being transmitted, the leftmost bits of the code word correspond to the message bits and the rightmost bits of the code word correspond to the parity bits. So systematic code. Next one is the systematic code. A linear block code, it can be a systematic code until it is altered. Therefore, an unaltered block code is called as a systematic code. In the following, it shows the representation of the structure of the code word, that is message bits followed by the parity bits, otherwise the check bits. So here it shows the structure of the code word. So the k bits refers to the message bits and n minus k bits refers to the parity bits, otherwise the check bits. It shows the structure of the code word. So if the message is not altered, then it is called the systematic code. It means the encryption of data, it should not change the data. Okay. So here in this, so this shows the structure of the, so this is the entire structure of the code word. That is message bits followed by the check bits. So next one, convolutional codes. So in the linear codes, we have discussed the systematic unaltered code is preferred. So the data of total n bits is transmitted. In this, k bits are message bits and n minus k bits are the parity bits. In the process of encoding, the parity bits are subtracted from the whole data and the message bits are encoded. Now the parity bits are again added and whole data is again encoded. So the following figure, it shows the blocks of data and the stream of data used for information. It shows the examples of the blocks of data and shows the examples of the stream of data. So here blocks of data means it consists of the message bit followed by the check bits. So next one, Hamming codes. So the linear property of the code word is the sum of the two code words is also a code word. So the Hamming codes are a type of linear error correcting codes. So these type of Hamming codes, which is able to detect up to 2-bit errors, or they can correct 1-bit error without the detection of the uncorrected errors. So while using the Hamming codes, extra parity bits are used, which is used to identify a single bit error. So to get from one bit pattern to the other, few bits are to be changed in the data. So such number of bits can be termed as the Hamming distance. If the parity has a distance of 2, one bit flip can be detected. Okay, so one bit flip means that is error. So but this cannot be corrected. So also any 2-bit flips cannot be detected. So if the Hamming distance is 2 means only one error can be detected. So if error occurs in 2 bits, then it cannot be detected. So the Hamming code is a better procedure than previously discussed one in the error detection and the correction. So the whole process above is tedious and it consists of number of drawbacks. So the drawback is cleared in the convolutional codes where the whole stream of data is assigned symbols and then transmitted, as the data is a stream of bits and there is no need of buffer for the storage. Next comes the BCH codes. So the BCH codes, they are named after the inventors Bose, Chowdhury and Hockenheim. So during this BCH code design, there is a control on the number of symbols to be corrected and hence multiple bit correction is possible. So BCH codes is a powerful technique in error correcting codes. So if for any positive integers, that is m is greater than or equal to 3 and t is less than or equal to 2 power m minus 1, there exists a BCH binary code. So following are the parameters of such code. So the block length, it should be n is equal to 2 power m minus 1. So n represents the block length. That is the number of bits present in the entire block. That is the code word. The number of parity check bits. So parity check bits means the redundant bits that is added to the message. So it should be always n minus k. It should be always less than or equal to m into t. And the minimum distance, the Hamming distance that should be maintained, it should be always greater than or equal to 2 into t plus 1. That is, t means it refers to the number of errors that can be corrected. Okay, so this code can be called as a t error correcting BCH code. That is, for example, if we put t is equal to 1, then the d minimum value will be greater than or equal to 3. So if d minimum value is greater than or equal to 3, in that condition, so this type of codes can be used to correct only one error in only one bit. The next one is the cyclic codes. The cyclic property of the code words is that any cyclic shift of a code word is also a code word. So that is the property of the cyclic codes. So for a linear code C, if every code word, that is C is equal to C1, C2, etc. to Cn, from C, it has a cyclic right shift of components. Then it becomes a code word. So the shift of right is equal to n minus 1 cyclic left shifts. Therefore, it is invariant under any shift. So the linear code C, as it is invariant under any shift, it can be called as a cyclic code. So the cyclic codes are also used for error correction. They are mainly used to correct the double errors and burst errors. So there are few error correcting codes which are to be detected at the receiver. These codes prevent the errors from getting introduced and disturb the communication. They are also prevent the signal from getting tapped by the unwanted receivers. So next, we are going to discuss about the convolutional codes. So convolutional codes, it generates the encoded sequence for the input sequence on bit by bit basis. For successive input bits, that is one or more, output bits are generated. Okay, for the successive input bits, output bits are generated. The convolutional coding thus works on the input bits rather than the blocks of the input sequence. So convolutional coding, it can be understood either in the transform domain or the time domain. The convolutional codes are decoded with the help of the maximum likelihood algorithms such as the Viterbi algorithm. So convolutional codes, that is, they are called as the convolutional codes because the output code words are obtained by the convolutional operation of the message inputs. Therefore, it is called as the convolutional codes. So in the convolutional coding, the input message bits are given to the shift register, and then the output of the shift register is then given to a modulo 2 adder. So the modulo 2 adder output will give the necessary code word. Okay, so this is the working principle of the convolutional codes. So a convolutional coding is done by combining the fixed number of input bits. So the input bits are stored in the fixed length shift register, and they are combined with the help of the modulo 2 adders. So this operation is equivalent to binary convolution. Therefore, it is called as the convolutional coding. So here what we are doing, so some message inputs are given to the binary shift register, and so in the shift register, if any input is given to the if any input is given, so the shift register output, it will be connected to the modulo 2 adder. So the modulo 2 adder output, it will give the corresponding code words. Encoding by the convolutional codes. So for generating a convolutional code, the information is passed sequentially through a linear finite state shift register. So the shift register comprises of the bit stages and Boolean function generators. So it consists of bit stages and Boolean function generators. Boolean function generators means it refers to the modulo 2 adders. So a convolutional code, it can be represented by n comma k. So k means it refers to the number of bits shifted into the encoder at one time. Generally, k is equal to 1. Only one bit will be shifted into the encoder at a particular time. So n is the number of the encoder output bits corresponding to the k information bits. So n is it refers to the number of encoder output. So the code rate for this convolutional encoder, it will be equal to k by n. So here k is the number of bits present in the message, and n is the number of bits present in the code word. So the encoder memory, a shift register of size k, is the constraint length. So n is a function of the present input bits and the contents of k. So the state of the encoder is given by the value of k minus 1 bits. So examples for generating the convolutional code. So let us consider the convolutional encoder with k is equal to 1, then n is equal to 2, and k is equal to, capital K is equal to 3. So the small k is equal to 1 means it refers to the number of bits that is given as input to the shift register. Okay. So here in this n is equal to 2 means it refers to the number of bits of the code word. Okay. So here the code rate is given by k by n, so which is equal to 1 by 2. So here it shows the, so these are the shift registers. So this input stream 1011. So 3-bit shift register is used. So so here the present initial state, it will be 000. That is, for example, if you consider this as m1 and m2. So they represent the message bits. So here this orange cell, it represents the state of the encoder. So these are the two modulo 2 adders. That is the Boolean functions. That is, it performs the XOR operation of the corresponding bit positions in the shift registers. So here the first modulo 2 adder, these two inputs are given. That is the first bit and the third bit. Then C1 will be the XOR operation of this and this. That is M1 XOR of M3. And then this modulo 2 adder will be the output of M XOR of M1 XOR of M2. So it performs the modulo 2 operation of these 3 bits. Okay, so the C1 will be M XOR of M3, and here this output, it will give M XOR of M1 XOR of M2. Okay, so C1 and C0, it will give the encoded outputs. So the input stream is streamed from right to left into the encoder. So here, if the first bit is 1, so first bit is given as input to this encoder. So the contents of the encoder. Now the state is, you already know the state, this orange portion, it represents the state of the encoder. So now the state will be 1, 0. And now this, in this modulo 2 adder, the two inputs are given, this 1 and 0. So now you know that 1 and 0, if the XOR operation of this, you will get C1 is equal to 1. And here, M XOR of M1 XOR of M2. So 1, 0, 0 is given to this second modulo 2 adder. Now the C0 value is equal to 1. So the output of C1 and C0, it will be 1, 1. So C1 and C0. So it will be 1, 1. Okay. So the state, the state is 1, 0 and the output is 1, 1. Okay. So the next bit is 0 is streamed into the encoder. So what happens in that? If 0 is streamed into the encoder, so now the state becomes 0, 1. Okay. And then the two inputs to the modulo 2 adder 1 is 0 and 1. Now the output code word C1 is equal to 1. And the input to the modulo 2 adder is, so here that is the modulo 2 adder at the lower side is 0, 1, 1. Now the output will be C0 is equal to 0. Now the encoder output, that is the output of this encoder will be C1, C0, which is equal to 1, 0. Okay. Now if the next bit 0 is streamed into the encoder, at the time the state is changed to 0, 1. The state is changed to 0, 1. The output is 1, 0. So the last bit 1 is streamed into the encoder. So now the state is changed to 1, 0 because this orange portion represents the state of the encoder. Now it is changed to 1, 0. And here in the upper modulo 2 adder, the inputs are 1 and 1. So now the output will be C1 is equal to 0. And here the C0 is the modulo 2 operation of these three inputs, 1, 0 and 1. Now we'll be getting C0 is equal to 0. So therefore, the output of the encoder will be 0, 0. So now representing this convolutional encoder in the state diagram. Okay, we are going to represent the state diagram for this convolutional encoder. So if you see the above example, any particular binary convolutional encoder is associated with a set of binary inputs, a set of binary outputs and set of states will be there. So the transitions and the output may be effectively represented using the state transition diagram and the state table. So for this binary convolutional encoder given in the example, the set of inputs, that is 0, 1, the set of outputs we got 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. The set of states we got is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So we can see in the initial state 0, 0, when the input 1 was given, the next state becomes 1, 0. Okay. So on the corresponding output obtained is 1, 1. So in the state 1, 0, when the input 1 was given, the next state was 1, 1. Okay. And the encoder outputs were 1, 0. So in the same manner, we will get the other transitions. So if all these are tabulated, then the state transition table is as follows. Now, first initially the present state is 0, 0. So if the input 1 is given, then it changed to the next state 1, 0, and the corresponding output of the encoder will be 1, 1. Okay. So now if the present state is 0, 1. Okay. If the present state is 0, 1, and if the input of the encoder is 1 means, then it will be changed to the next state 1, 0, and the corresponding output will be 0, 0. And if the present state is 1, 0, and if input 1 is given to the encoder, then given to the encoder, the next state will be 1, 1, and the corresponding output will be 1, 0. And if the present state is 1, 1, and if input 0 is given, then it will be switched to the next state, that is 0, 1, and the corresponding output will be 1, 0. So here this shows the state transition diagram. So initially the state is 0, 0. If input 1 is given, at the time it is changed to the state, next state 1, 0, and the corresponding output is 1, 1. So if it is in the state 1, 0 and input 1 is given, it will be changed to the next state 1, 1, and the corresponding output will be 1, 0. So if it is in the state 1, 1, and if input 0 is given, it will be moved to the next state 0, 1, and the output will be 1, 0. So here in this, if it is in the state 0, 1, and if the input is 1, it will be moved to the next state 1, 0, and corresponding output will be 0, 0. So it shows the state transition diagram. So next we are going to discuss about the Hamming code for the single error correction. How the Hamming codes are used for correcting a single bit error. So the procedure for single error correction by the Hamming code, it includes the two parts, that is encoding at the sender's end and decoding at the receiver's end. So the Hamming codes are N, K linear block codes. Since the minimum Hamming distance of the Hamming code is 3, it can be used to detect double errors or correct single errors. So if the minimum Hamming distance is 3 means, then it can be able to detect double errors or correct single errors. So the minimum distance of a linear block code is equal to the minimum weight of any non-zero vector. For example, after detecting the code words of the linear block codes, the number of non-zero elements, that is the number of ones present in the code word, it gives the weight of the code vector. Okay, it gives the weight of the code vector, and so we have to calculate the minimum weight of any non-zero vectors. So we have to compare all the code words and we have to calculate the minimum weight of the non-zero vectors. So here the minimum, that is called the minimum distance. So the minimum distance of Hamming code will be always equal to 3. So encoding by the Hamming codes. The procedure used by the sender to encode the message, it encompasses the following steps. So step 1, calculation of the number of redundant bits. Step 2, positioning the redundant bits. Step 3, calculating the values of each redundant bit. So once the redundant bits are embedded with the message, this is sent to the destination. First, we are going to calculate the number of redundant bits. So if the message contains m number of data bits and r is the number of redundant bits, that is check bits are added, so it is able to indicate at least m plus r plus 1 different states. So the number of states will be m plus r plus 1. Here the m plus r, it indicates the location of the error in each of the bit positions, and one additional state, it indicates no error. So since r bits can indicate 2 power r states, and 2 power r must be at least equal to m plus r plus 1. Okay, so thus the following equation should hold. So 2 power r is greater than or equal to m plus r plus 1. So we already discussed that 2 power r states means, so 2 power r means at least equal to m plus r plus 1. So therefore 2 power r is greater than or equal to m plus r plus 1. So in you consider that if the data, you consider an example, if the data is of 7 bits, that is m is equal to 7. The minimum value of r that will satisfy the above equation is 4 means, then 2 power 4, that is greater than or equal to 7 plus 4 plus 1. The total number of bits in the encoded message, that is m plus r is equal to 1, 1. This is referred to as the 11,4 code. So step 2, positioning the redundant bits. So the r redundant bits are placed, redundant bits placed at the bit positions of the powers of 2. That is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. So these are referred in the rest of this PPT as R1, that is position at 1, R2 at position at 2, R3 at position 4, and R4 at position 8, and so on. If M is equal to 7 comes to 4, the positions of the redundant bits are given as R4. So here you already know that. So the positions of the redundant bits are given as R4, R2, here, and R1. Okay. So calculating the values of each redundant bit. So the redundant bits are parity bits. A parity means it is an extra bit that makes the number of ones either even or odd. There are two types of parity. One is even parity. That is, the total number of bits in the message is made even. And then odd parity. The total number of bits in the message is made odd. So each redundant bit, that is Ri, is calculated as the parity. So generally even parity. So based upon its bit position. So it covers all the bit positions whose binary representation includes a 1 in the ith position. Okay. So except the position of Ri. So R1 is the parity bit for all the data bits in the positions whose binary representation includes a 1 in the least significant position excluding 1. That is 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and so on. R2 is the parity bit for all the bits in the position whose binary representation includes a 1 in the position 2 from right except 2. That is 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, and so on. R3 is the parity bit for all the data bits in the positions whose binary representation 1 in the position 3 from right except 4. That is 5 to 7, 12 to 15, 20 to 23, and so on. Suppose that the message, that is 1100101, needs to be encoded using even parity Hamming code, that is M is equal to 7 and R comes to 4. So these values of redundant bits will be as follows. Now the message sent will be, so you already know that. So it occupies the position, 4 positions, that is 8, 4, 2, and 1. Is it not? Now it will be 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. Next, we are going to discuss about the decoding a message in the Hamming code. So once the receiver gets an incoming message, it performs recalculations to detect the errors and correct them. The steps are calculation of number of redundant bits. Next one, positioning the redundant bits. Next one, parity checking. Next one, error detection and correction. So step 1, calculation of the number of redundant bits. So using the same formula as in the encoding, the number of redundant bits are ascertained. That is, 2 power r is greater than or equal to m plus r plus 1. So here m represents the number of data bits and r is the number of redundant bits. Next, step 2. So that is positioning of the redundant bits. So you already know that the redundant bit positions are placed at the bit positions of powers of 2. That is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. Parity checking. So the parity bits are calculated based upon the data bits and the redundant bits using the same rule as the generation of C1, C2, C3, C4, etc. So C1 is the parity of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and so on. C2 is the parity of 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, and so on. C3 is the parity of 4 to 7, 12 to 15, 20 to 23, and so on. So next step 4, we are going to detect and correct the error. So the decimal equivalent of the parity bits, that is binary values, is calculated. So if it is 0 means then there is no error. So otherwise the decimal value, it gives the bit position which has error. For example, if C1, C2, C3 is equal to 1001. So 1001 means this implies that the data bit position is 9. Okay, so the decimal equivalent of 1001. So it has error. So the bit position at 9 has error. Okay, so the bit is flipped, that is converted from 0 to 1 or vice versa to get the correct message. So only at the bit position 9 the error has occurred. That means If there is 0, then it should be changed to 1. If it is 1, it should be changed to 0. For example 4. So suppose the incoming message 111101010101 is received. Step 1. At first, the number of redundant bits are calculated. So using the formula, you already know that 2 power r is greater than or equal to m plus r plus 1. So m means refers to number of message bits, r refers to the number of redundant bits. So m plus r plus 1 is equal to 11 plus 1, which is equal to 12. So the minimum value of r is such that 2 power r is greater than or equal to 12 is 4. So the redundant bits are positioned as below. So here in this 111, so instead of R41, so you already know that 7, that is 0101101. So step 3, so even parity checking is done. So C1 even parity of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, which is equal to 0. Next, we have to calculate the even parity of 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, which is equal to 0. So even parity of 4, 5, 6, 7, which is equal to 0. Next, even parity of 8, 9, 10, 11, which is equal to 0. So since the value of the check bits, that is C1, C2, C3, C4 is equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, that is, there are no errors occurs in the message. So that's all. We completed the error control coding. Thank you.